Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jack and Jill Talks. I'm so happy you're here with us today. It's one of those days where I just want to sit down, have a cup of tea, and have a really honest conversation with all of you.
Hey there, same here. And honestly, today's topic is one that I think every single person listening can relate to, like deeply relate to.
Oh, absolutely. Because we've all been there, right? It's 2 a.m, you're lying in bed, and suddenly your brain just goes back to that embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago, or that mistake you made at work, and you just can't stop thinking about it.
That loop, that endless loop. Today we're talking about overthinking and rumination, what they are, why our brains do this to us, and most importantly, how to break free from those negative thought cycles.
And by the end of this episode, you're going to have real, practical tools you can actually use. Things like journal writing and mindfulness techniques that genuinely help. Plus, your English is going to get stronger too.
Before we dive in, we want to hear from you. Do you ever get stuck in your thoughts? Do you replay old mistakes over and over? Tell us in the comments. You're definitely not alone.
And if you're new here, welcome to Jack and Jill Talks. Please hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We make new content every week just for you.
Okay, let's get into it. First, what exactly is rumination and why is it so exhausting? So let's start with the word itself. Rumination. It's a beautiful, slightly scary word. In English, it actually comes from how cows eat. Cows chew their food, swallow it, then bring it back up and chew it again. It's called chewing the cud. And that's exactly what our brains do with negative thoughts, right? We think about something painful, we push it away, and then our brain brings it right back up. Chew, chew, chew.
Rumination means repeatedly thinking about the same negative experience or feeling. The key word is repeatedly. It's not just thinking about a problem once. It's going around and around in circles without actually solving anything.
For example, I can't believe I said that in the meeting. Okay, that's a normal thought. But rumination is, I can't believe I said that. Why did I say that? Everyone must think I'm stupid. I always do this. I'm never going to be taken seriously. Why am I like this? And it just keeps going.
Oh, I know that spiral so well. For me, it's usually something I said to a friend. I'll be washing the dishes and suddenly, boom, my brain replays a conversation from 5 years ago and I cringe all over again.
We call that a negative thought loop in English. A loop is a circle that keeps repeating. And the dangerous thing about these loops is that they feel productive, like you're solving something, but you're really just making yourself feel worse.
Here's a simple way to understand it. There's a big difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection is, I made a mistake. What can I learn from this? That's healthy. Rumination is, I made a mistake. I'm terrible. I'll probably make it again. I always ruin everything. That's the loop.
Can you feel the difference? One moves forward, one goes in circles. So here's a question for you. Think about a time you got stuck in a thought loop. What was it about? Write it in the comments. You don't have to share details, just say work, relationships, something I said. Let's see how many of us share the same experiences.
And here's something important. Rumination is not a character flaw. It's not because you're weak or dramatic. Research actually shows that people who ruminate tend to be highly empathetic and self-aware. Your brain just needs better tools.
So to recap, rumination means going over the same negative thought again and again. It feels like thinking, but it's actually just a loop. And the first step to breaking the loop is simply recognizing when it's happening. Now let's talk about overthinking, because overthinking and rumination are close cousins. Rumination is mostly about the past. Overthinking can be about the past or the future. Overthinking is when your brain goes into overdrive, analyzing every possibility, every outcome, every what if. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I made the wrong decision? What if, what if, what if?
And the exhausting thing is, it feels like you're being careful and responsible, but actually you're just spinning your wheels. In English, spinning your wheels means putting in a lot of effort with no forward movement, like a car stuck in mud.
So why does our brain do this? There are a few reasons. First, our brains are wired for survival. They're actually designed to look for threats and problems. In ancient times, that kept us alive. But in modern life, our brain still sees a difficult email or an awkward conversation as a potential threat.
Second, we ruminate because we think we haven't fully processed something. Our brain keeps returning to it because it feels unresolved, like an open tab on your computer that keeps refreshing.
And third, and this is a big one, we ruminate because we're looking for certainty. We want to understand exactly what happened and why. But life often doesn't give us that, and the searching just creates more anxiety.
So what's one of the best tools for breaking this cycle? journal writing, or as we sometimes call it, expressive writing.
The idea is simple. Instead of letting the thoughts spin endlessly in your head, you get them out, you write them down, and something almost magical happens. Once the thought is on paper, your brain releases it a little. It's been recorded. It's safe. You don't have to keep holding it.
Here's how to try it. First, set a timer for 10 minutes. Second, write continuously without stopping. Don't worry about grammar or spelling. This is just for you. Third, write about what's bothering you. What happened, how you feel, what you're afraid of.
The key is to write without judging yourself. You're not writing an essay. You're just pouring thoughts out of your head and onto the page.
You can even try what psychologists call perspective writing. Write about the situation as if you were a kind friend looking at yourself from the outside. What would you say to a good friend going through the same thing?
Try this today. After this episode, open a notebook or even your phone's notes app and write for just 10 minutes about something that's been on your mind. Then come back and tell us in the comments. Did it help even a little? We'd love to know.
Because writing creates distance, and distance gives you a little bit of power back over your own thoughts.
To review, overthinking is about spinning in what-ifs. Journal writing helps by taking thoughts out of your head and giving them a place to rest. And perspective writing, writing as a kind friend, can shift how you see your own situation.
Okay, so we've talked about what rumination is and how journal writing helps. Now let's talk about mindfulness, because this word gets used a lot, and I want to make sure we're really clear about what it means practically.
Mindfulness doesn't mean sitting in silence for an hour thinking about nothing. That's actually a really common misunderstanding. Mindfulness simply means paying full attention to what's happening right now, in your body, around you, in this present moment.
When you're ruminating, your mind is in the past. When you're overthinking, your mind is in the future. Mindfulness gently brings you back to right now, and right now is the only place where you actually have any power.
Here's a simple technique called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. It sounds almost too simple, but it genuinely works because it engages your senses and pulls your attention into the present.
Here's how it works. Stop what you're doing, then notice 5 things you can see. 4 things you can physically feel, like your feet on the floor, the chair under you. 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste.
By the time you finish, your nervous system has calmed down a little. The loop has been interrupted, and you can think more clearly.
Another technique is called name it to tame it. This is actually based on neuroscience. When you're caught in a negative thought spiral, simply labeling what you're experiencing can reduce its intensity. So instead of just feeling overwhelmed, you say out loud or in your head, I'm noticing anxiety right now, or this is rumination happening.
It sounds strange, but naming the feeling activates a different part of your brain, the rational part, and it turns down the volume on the emotional part.
And here's a mindfulness phrase that I personally love. This is a thought, it is not a fact. When your brain says, I always mess everything up, that's a thought, not a fact. You can notice it without believing it.
Practice saying this out loud right now. Seriously, say it wherever you are. This is a thought, it is not a fact. Did you say it? Tell us in the comments. We mean it.
And one more practical tool, scheduled worry time. This one sounds funny, but it really works. You pick a specific time each day, maybe 15 minutes in the evening, and you allow yourself to think about your worries only during that time.
When a ruminating thought comes during the day, you say, not now. I have a time for this later. You're not suppressing the thought, you're just postponing it. And often by the time your scheduled worry time arrives, the thought has lost its urgency.
So to bring it together, mindfulness is not about emptying your mind. It's about noticing your thoughts without being controlled by them. The 5-4-3-2-1 method, naming your feelings, and scheduled worry time are all practical ways to do this every day.
Great work, everyone. You're learning so much today. Let's keep going. Mistake section is coming up, and it's a good one.
Okay, so let's talk about some common mistakes people make when they're trying to stop overthinking. And I want to be honest, I've made every single one of these myself.
Same. And the thing is, these mistakes come from a good place. You genuinely want to feel better. But sometimes the things we try actually make the loop worse.
Mistake number 1, telling yourself to just stop thinking about it. How many times have you said that to yourself? Stop thinking about it, just stop. But here's the thing, the more you try to force a thought away, the more your brain focuses on it. It's called the rebound effect. If I say, don't think about a pink elephant, what are you thinking about right now?
A pink elephant, exactly. Trying to suppress a thought gives it more power. A better approach? Acknowledge it. I notice I'm thinking about this again. Then gently redirect your attention to your breath, to the room around you, to what you're doing.
Mistake number 2, talking about the same problem over and over with the same people. Now, talking to friends is wonderful and healthy, but there's a difference between processing with a friend and co-ruminating. Co-rumination is when you and a friend just keep going over the same story, adding more worry, more analysis, more but why did they do that, without ever reaching any resolution.
A better approach is to set a gentle limit. Talk about it once, fully and honestly, then gently try to shift the conversation to, okay, so what's one small thing I could do differently? Moving toward action, even a tiny action, breaks the loop.
Mistake number 3, trying to get absolute certainty. When something goes wrong, we want to know exactly why it happened, exactly what people think of us, exactly what the future holds. But that certainty is often impossible, and chasing it just keeps the loop going.
A better approach is to practice tolerating uncertainty. Say to yourself, I don't know exactly what happened, and that's okay. I can move forward without knowing every answer.
Mistake number 4, judging yourself for ruminating. You're already in a negative loop, and then your brain piles on with, why can't you just get over it? Or you're so weak for still thinking about this. That's a loop inside a loop.
Be kind to yourself. Rumination is a very human experience. You are not broken, you are not weak. Your brain is just doing what brains do, and now you have better tools. Write in the comments which of these mistakes do you recognize in yourself. We promise no judgment here.
Interactive practice. All right, let's do a quick practice activity. I'm going to give you 2 sentences, and I want you to choose which one reflects a more helpful, mindful response. Ready?
Situation 1. You made a mistake at work. Option A, I am a complete failure and I always mess things up. Option B, I made a mistake. I can learn from this and do better next time. Which one?
Option B, right? Option A is rumination. It generalizes from one event to your whole identity. Option B is reflection. It's honest, but it moves forward.
Situation 2. You're lying awake worrying. Option A, you try to force yourself to sleep by telling your brain to be quiet. Option B, you do the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise. Which one?
Option B, every time. Forcing your brain doesn't work. Grounding it does.
Situation 3. A friend wants to talk about the same problem for the 3rd time this week. Option A, you listen and add more worries to the pile. Option B, you listen, then gently say, okay, so what's one small thing you could do today? Which one?
Option B, because it breaks the co-rumination cycle and moves toward action. How did you do? Tell us in the comments. And now here's a challenge. Create your own sentence using one of today's techniques. Write it in the comments and we'll read them. Remember, perfect English is not the goal. Real, natural communication is the goal. Every sentence you write is practice. Every attempt is progress. Wow, what an episode. I feel like my own brain is clearer just from hawking through all of this. Let's quickly recap everything we learned today.
We covered 3 big areas. First, what rumination and overthinking actually are and why our brains do this to us. Not because we're weak, but because our brains are wired to look for problems. Second, journal writing and expressive writing as a way to get thoughts out of your head and onto the page where they lose some of their power.
And third, mindfulness techniques, including the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method, name it to tame it, the phrase, this is a thought, not a fact, and scheduled worry time.
Here's a question for you to reflect on this week. What is one thought loop that you want to interrupt? You don't have to solve it today. Just notice it, name it, and try one of the tools we talked about.
If today's episode helped you, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe to Jack and Jill Talks so you never miss an episode. We're here every week with practical English and real conversations that actually matter.
And remember, your thoughts are not your identity. You are not your worst moment. You are not that embarrassing memory from 3 years ago. You are here, you are learning, and you are growing every single day.
We are so proud of you for showing up today. Keep writing those comments, keep practicing out loud, and keep being kind to yourself. Until next time, take care of your beautiful minds. See you next time.